Welcome to Thriving Tribesmen. My name is Kuri, your host, and I'm excited to be making this episode. How to stop rejection within your relationship. Now, a lot of you guys get rejected because of your approach. Very narrow in your approach. You have got one way of doing things, or you've got several ways of doing things, but a lot of them are quite narrow in their nature. So, for example, some of you guys would go through the place where you're complimenting a lot, and you're hoping that by complimenting, you're sort of softening her to wanting to have sex with you. Generally, it might have worked when you started off in the relationship, but over a period of time, you've oversubscribed or over-complimented, or in that sense, and your compliments become powerless. So again, very, very important that you actually have a real strategy when it comes to attraction, and then also have a strategy to transition into seduction. And a lot of people really ignore this bit. And when I speak to guys, which is what was recently, I started speaking to some guys and they were talking about rejection and how they're not entitled to sex, but they were like, I'm being denied sex and so on. So they got this frame of mind that I've put up a good thing, like a compliment, or I've done the house chores, I've done all these things, and she's not meeting her end of the bargain. But I'm thinking, well, I've not heard anything from you that's to do with attraction. I've not heard anything from you in terms of seduction. So, and again, you have to know the difference that, attraction is what you do in order for her to like you. And then seduction is when she's compliant to compliant in order to go into sexual encounter. So you when you look at it from that perspective, it changes how you approach. Because again, when it comes to the attraction side of things, her getting to like you, it's more about you being playful, really not giving a shit what she thinks, and again, a lot of it comes down to you having to press those fun buttons for yourself. That if I'm going to be joking, if I'm going to be entertaining my wife, generally I'm trying to entertain myself more than I'm just inviting her to it. So whether she likes my jokes or not, it doesn't matter. But what generally happens, because I'm enjoying myself, she tends to then enjoy herself, and then we have this what we call positive association, which is what basically attraction is. So when she's having a positive sort of association, especially being around me, the amazing part about all of this is that as she leaves the house, nine times out of 10 during the day, she's going to be having negative interactions. And it becomes extremely valuable that when she then comes to see you, she's having a positive interaction. What this does is that even if it's the lowest of positive interaction, it's amplified to 10 because it's already at this place where she's just desperate for something that's positive. And this is why it's extremely powerful to be operating like this and thinking about it this way. Because when you do, what tends to happen, especially when it comes to transitioning into seduction, is that it's like a drug. The moment you have this positive association, it's like this snowball effect. We just want more and more and more and more, and especially if it's throughout the week. So, for example, my wife has had a difficult week already, but every time we're interacting, we're having fun. Like today, was before she left the house, we were wrestling, and I was teasing, and we were just having fun, but we're connecting. And for her to then start off a day having a smile on her face, having a good interaction, again, she might go out and then have negative interactions, but at least for that day, she's already had one good one. And that one good one she can reference is with me. How is this? Let me just try and get it to the point. So a lot of you guys don't do some of this stuff. You sort of go cold, you're non-existent, and then you try and seduce. She's got no positive reference of any interaction. You're part of in terms of interactions, you're part of the group where it's potentially neutral or negative. And again, this becomes very powerful when you're trying to transition to seduction. When you can have positive interactions, what that does is then allows you to then transition into seduction, where because he already has that this is just the next level up of attraction. Now, when we talk about seduction, or at least attraction, and how she feels compliant towards seduction, you have to see it from we call it cold, warm, and hot. And then cold being she's not interested in sex at all. And then warm, I'm open to the idea. And then hot, I really want to have sex with you. So she's generally in one of these places. And when you can have positive associations, you're moving it towards the warm. In fact, if you're doing this correctly, you're pretty much close to really hot and warm. And you will maintain that pretty much most of the week. And then the transition from warm to hot is very easy. But most people tend to operate in the very cold and then expect to be in the very hot without doing any work whatsoever. They just think, if I can compliment, then it should happen. Or if I just wash the dishes, then it might happen. If I just take it out for date night, then it will happen. And again, it can happen once, but it's not when you use it as a strategy, it becomes something that is not consistent. It's not predictable. So when it comes to then you seducing or trying to do something in seduction, generally most of you guys go from cold to hot, and then that's why you get rejected. Now, I've always said this, 9 times out of 10, she's not rejecting you. In fact, most of the time she's not rejecting you, she's rejecting your approach. I'll say that again, 9 times out of 10, she's not rejecting you, she's rejecting your approach. If you change your approach, it changes your relationship massively. So, as I know that you guys are going to out the weekend, start trying to be a bit more playful. I think next week I might do a series on really like self-amusement and what that looks like, because there's a few things that come into play in terms of cracking jokes, body language, attraction gap and stuff like that. I think I'll go a little bit deeper into some of that so that you guys can actually see probably what I'll do is I'll document what I'm doing Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday to try and have sex with my wife. So I think maybe that will be an interesting episode to do. So I can by documenting it, at least you can see what I'm doing now. I'm not going to do it so that you guys copy what I'm doing, because me and my wife have got a way of interacting that is different from the way I'll probably give you what we're doing, but also give you some other options to test out, to see how you guys can be playful and have fun. So it's going to be a little bit different, but I'll at least give you a guideline of what I'm doing and probably the principle behind of what I'm doing, so that way you can at least start seeing what it takes to actually have sex with your partner, especially when you're 5 years deep into a relationship, when there's kids and so on. The way you interact around attraction and seduction is completely different to a compliment. Like, compliment is really cheap. Like, you can do better, guys. This is bullshit. Oh, fuck. I'm supposed to swear. It's YouTube. It's bullshit when you're just complimenting your way, trying to compliment your way into sleeping with her. It is bullshit if you're only trying to grab a boob and in order to get it to seduce. It's really, you need to step up your game. Really need to step up your game. So I just wanted to put that out there, guys. Thank you very much for listening. I'll be seeing you guys soon. Take care.